Appearances can be deceiving, and these supermodels are proof that public image and private turmoil are often at startling odds. For anyone who lived through the dizzy, defiant era of Cool Britannia in the 90s, Georgina Cooper was more than just a model. She was the defining face of the cultural shift happening in Britain at the time, capturing the pulse of the movement with her effortless, cool, and iconic gap-toothed grin. Cooper's distinct look and camera presence brought her quick popularity. At only 15, she was rubbing shoulders with the likes of legendary photographer Corinne Day, of whom she told the cultural omnivore, "I was so young at the time, I didn't really understand how influential the work we were doing was until I got older and people would compliment me on the work we did together." For years, she was the go-to supermodel for designers and editors who wanted to give their brand a certain edge, but when she embraced motherhood, her priorities changed, and she gracefully bowed out of fashion to work in the hospitality sector. In 2024, Cooper died at the age of 46, just months after getting married. It was reportedly due to a COVID-related brain hemorrhage.
I didn't build into a model. I just sort of became one.
Gia Carangi was a household name even before Angelina Jolie played her on-screen. Carangi was known for her free-spirited and seductive personality, her intelligence, and her authenticity, and was considered by many to be among the world's first supermodels. She was also one of the first female celebrities to die of AIDS, back when it was still a widely misunderstood disease. Carangi struggled with heroin addiction, which derailed her career. In 1981, she entered rehab and attempted to get her career back on track. But her sobriety was short-lived, and she continued in a cycle of drug abuse and temporary sobriety for several years. She was diagnosed with AIDS in December 1985 after being admitted to the hospital for pneumonia. By that point, her illness had progressed too rapidly to be properly addressed. On November 18, 1986, Carangi died at the age of 26. Dayle Haddon got her start at the age of 5, with dance being her first love. It was actually because of dance that she began modeling. It helped to finance her ballet career. But Haddon soon caught the attention of none other than Eileen Ford herself, who invited her to join Ford Modeling Agency in 1966. But though she was stunning, Haddon didn't exactly fit into the contours of the American fashion industry at the time. She told Women's Wear Daily in 2017, "I was a very small, dark-haired Canadian with little freckles. It just wasn't an in look. It took me a long time to be successful." Haddon was successful eventually, and she broke records. With contracts with 4 big cosmetic companies, features in major magazines, and film projects on the side, Haddon was a history-making model in her time. She continued to model and break new barriers up until her death at 76. In 2024, Haddon was found on her daughter's property in Pennsylvania following a reported carbon monoxide poisoning. Police pinned the accident down to a faulty flue and exhaust pipe on a gas heating system. Stella Tennant stormed into the fashion industry in the early 90s, defying the soft and safe beauty standards of the time with her grungy, androgynous look and rebellious streak, and the world fell in love with her.
My style heroine, because she is the embodiment of so much that is quintessentially British.
Tennant was one of the most in-demand muses of her era. At one point, she even held an unofficial record for walking the highest number of catwalks in a single season. Fashion bosses like Karl Lagerfeld praised her, while fellow models were in awe of her. Linda Evangelista spoke of their first shoot together on Instagram, writing, "I laughed and told her that was the day I found out I wasn't cool. I had just met the coolest person I would ever meet." Though Tennant gradually withdrew from the spotlight, her shine hardly dimmed. She continued to work in the industry up until 2020, the year she died. She tragically took her own life just days after turning 50. Her family released a statement saying she had been struggling with her mental health. Ruslana Korshunova, the model the press dubbed the Russian Rapunzel, was at the beginning of what should have been an impressive career when her death at the age of 20 made international headlines. On June 28, 2008, Korshunova died after falling from the balcony of her Manhattan apartment. Investigations later revealed that she had been a member of a controversial organization known as Rose of the World. Another model, Anastasia Drozdova, who was also allegedly associated with the group, killed herself the following year. Representatives for the organization denied having anything to do with either death. Other reports claimed that Korshunova had posted about her despair online. Whatever happened, her death was eventually ruled a suicide, but the bizarre circumstances surrounding it still casts an even more disturbing shadow on the tragedy. To say that Lina Marulanda was a sensation in Colombia would be an understatement. She was a beloved figure, building an unmatched legacy that spanned decades of work. Marulanda started her career in modeling at the age of 12 after being discovered while out shopping. That modeling career eventually paved the way for her to explore more avenues, most notably in television. She was a presenter on both CMand News and Caracol News, but she also made a mark in projects like Yo Soy Betty La Fea, which inspired the ABC series Ugly Betty. Though she reached dizzying heights of success, Marulanda seemed to have some reservations about the whole affair. A TV associate of hers told BBC Mundo that she did not want to be pigeonholed. According to several accounts, in her final years, Marulanda's personal life was in turmoil. The effects of depression and a divorce from her second husband reportedly left her isolated. Marulanda's saga ended in tragedy in 2010 when the 29-year-old fell to her death from her apartment in Bogotá. Her death was widely considered a suicide.
Daul Kim of Seoul, South Korea, was a muse for designers like Chanel and Alexander McQueen. She appeared in mags including Vogue and Harper's Bazaar and seemed, on the surface, to have it all. Kim wrote a blog, and although it showcased the model's humor, it also revealed her struggle with depression. She wrote on November 5, 2009, "The more I gain, the more lonely it is. I know I'm like a ghost."
I don't know, I always felt like an outsider because to Koreans I'm kind of foreign and I'm just foreign everywhere.
Just 2 weeks after her blog post, she took her own life. Charlotte Dawson signed with the Ford modeling agency at just 16 and went on to appear as a judge on Australia's Next Top Model, but she was plagued by depression, the origins of which she detailed in her book Air, Kiss and Tell, according to the Sydney Morning Herald. In 2012, Dawson made an attempt on her own life after suffering cyberbullying that was reportedly a reaction to her involvement with Community Brave.
Bullying is menacing and threatening, and it tends to make somebody feel unsafe. It's a very dangerous thing.
On February 22, 2014, Dawson took her own life, but her dedicated activism and compassion live on. The granddaughter of writer Ernest Hemingway and sister of actress Mariel Hemingway, Margaux Hemingway seemed to have the world at her feet. Nevertheless, her personal life was troubled. Having both come from a long line of family members who had taken their own lives, Sister Mariel remembered in her doc Running from Crazy,
"My sister, Margaux, was obsessed with the whole mystery of Ernest Hemingway, idolized the very thing I hated."
Diagnosed with epilepsy, the Chicago Tribune reported she also struggled with substance abuse problems and severe depression. On July 1, 1996, Hemingway was found dead from an overdose in her home. Her sister Mariel continues to be an outspoken advocate for mental health.
I want to change the dynamic and I want to change the viewpoint that it's not a family of tragedies, it's actually a family of complete and total embrace of joy.
Lucy Gordon landed roles in Spider-Man 3 and 2002's The Four Feathers. And before she was an actress, Gordon was a model and face of CoverGirl Cosmetics. But 2 days before her 29th birthday in 2009, she took her own life. Gordon left 2 notes upon her death, according to the Daily Telegraph. One stating that she was, quote, of sound mind and body, and one to her parents.
You literally fall in love with Jamaica. You fall in love with being in love with love. It's just one love everywhere.
South African model Reeva Steenkamp rose to prominence as the face of Avon Cosmetics.
She had, beauty and intelligence, which is the double whammy.
But her relationship with Olympian Oscar Pistorius was perhaps not as perfect as it seemed to be. On Valentine's Day 2013, Steenkamp was found dead in the home she shared with Pistorius. She had been shot 4 times. Pistorius maintained he had mistaken Steenkamp for an intruder and shot her, according to Vanity Fair. She started out as a model in Paris, working with the likes of Karl Lagerfeld and Terry Mugler, and became famous in the fashion industry for her 42-inch legs, according to Vogue.
You can't have a show without a little high drama.
Nevertheless, at the time of her death, Lorenz Scott was primarily known as a fashion designer.
I was making so many clothes for my clients, but I thought I didn't have a lot to lose by trying. You have much more to lose in life by wondering what could have been.
She was also the longtime partner of Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger and appeared to have a life full of close friends and success.
I love what I do, and I feel really excited to be doing it.
Scott hung herself in her home on March 17, 2014. To many of her friends, her death was an unexpected and complete shock. As The Guardian reported, few people had truly sensed the depth of her suffering. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK.